Now that all of us that are coming are here, I apologize for my tardiness. We will start this meeting. May I have a call to order, please?
Trustee DeBoer? Here. Trustschel?
Here.
Walschlager? Here. Connor? Is he on Zoom, Ryan? Okay. Hallquist?
Here.
President Vanderstill?
Here.
And Trustee Pfeiffer is excused this evening.
All right, if you'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Truttschel.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, where is he? He's here somewhere. Oh, he's in his official seat. Okay. I didn't know if he was going to be somewhere special for us. We have a proclamation for our chief, Dave Jambretz, who has been at the helm for quite some time, has done an amazing job for the fire department in Hartland. He came in at a time that was tough and needed hard work and some resolute action to keep it on track. He has done that, and he has done more than that in the time that he has been there. The village is lucky to have had him. I hope that in his time when he was at EAA, he had a blast. I know you do that every year. In fact, I was somewhere outside of Hartland quite a ways, and all of a sudden started talking about Hartland, and someone was like, I know your chief. We go and we hang out at EAA. So the things that a chief does of departments like police and fire obviously they go a lot farther than just the borders of the village. So Chief, I'm going to read a proclamation for you for everything you've done for this village. In reading this proclamation, whereas David Jambretz served the village of Hartland for over 32 years, and whereas David Jambretz began his career with the Village of Hartland Department of Public Works on January 17th, 1994 as a laborer. He also joined the Hartland Fire Department as a paid on-call firefighter at the same time. He obtained his EMT licensure in 1999. Dave Jambretz was promoted to Department of Public Works foreman on the 12th of July, 2024, and at the same time, he was promoted to lieutenant at the Hartland Fire Department. He was later promoted to captain in 2010, then division chief in 2016, where he served until 2020. In March of 2020, he left the Department of Public Works and was appointed the interim chief of the Hartland Fire Department until he was appointed as the fire chief on October 11th, 2020. And whereas David J. Jambretz began his interim chief position during the onset of the pandemic, he developed the department policy on personal protective equipment. He orchestrated 2 COVID-19 vaccination clinics for staff members, and he worked with the county to make sure that the best practices were used for staff and patient safety. And whereas David Jambretz commanded the worst fatal fire of his career and in the history of the Hartland Fire Department on October 21st, 2022, 15 fire departments and 9 police departments assisted on scene. He was instrumental in giving orders, simultaneously on scene and back at the station. He ensured that critical incident stress debriefing was organized for all fire, EMS, and police agencies who were at the incident. And whereas Dave Jambretz continued his education while serving the village of Hartland and obtained his Associate's Fire Technician degree in 2023. And whereas David Jambretz in 2024 had the vision to put together a strategic plan and move the Hartland Fire Department from a volunteer service to a combination department with 8 full-time staff, which includes a full-time assistant chief and administrative assistant. He played an integral role in the space needs assessment for the station, resulting in the possibility of a new station. He was front and center in the concept and development of the plans for a future station. Whereas Dave Jambretz conducted himself with the highest level of professionalism, dedication, and enthusiasm while serving in a command staff role within the Village of Hartland Fire Department. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved that David Jambretz is to be commended for his many years of service to the Village of Hartland and is given every best wish coming to you from this village board, this entire community, and everyone you've ever served. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Village of Hartland as a friend, as a chief. Thank you. If the floor is yours, Chief, if you want to say
32
some
years,
words.
Peter. I'll be watching. Can't thank everybody enough. Family, my fire family, pretty much have had hands in hiring all of these guys. Sorry. PD, DPW, recreation, all of the different areas in here that we've touched, I've touched. Support from the board, support from the PFC. Couldn't have done it without it, so thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Put the pause marks there where it's
Thank you.
easy,
That's great.
And that's his cheat sheet to give him.
Perfect. Chief, again, thank you so much for everything you've done. Your retirement is well-deserved, and I'm quite certain you're not going anywhere, but even if you did go somewhere and move away, you will be part of this community, and you will be part of this community forever.
Thursday from 11 to 1.
Oh, yeah, can we, is it Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday is the open house? 11 to 1 on Thursday is an open house it's at the fire station, correct?
Correct.
For a final call for Chief Jambretz. That'll take place at 1 o'clock, the final call. At this time, we would like to have our new officer, Peter Otte, if I'm... Otte, think that's why I ask. Otte, come forward, please, towards the microphone. If you don't have to, it just sometimes, if you would just need it, but if you'd please raise your right hand. I, Peter Otte, do solemnly swear
I do, Peter Otte, solemnly swear
that I will support and comply with the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support and comply to the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Wisconsin,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Wisconsin,
the charter, laws, and ordinances of the Village of Hartland,
the charter and laws of the ordinances of the Village of Hartland,
the rules and regulations of the Hartland Police Department,
the rules and regulations of the Hartland Police Department,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
of my office as police officer
as my office of police officer
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations and welcome. It's customary that Chief would take over, or if you want to say a few words first, but typically I think that would come after what Chief has
Yeah, we'll
planned.
start with one of our customs, is after we make a brand new officer get sworn in and go through all that in front of all of you as one of their first duties. It's kind of customary for us to pin their badge onto their uniform. So Peter, if you want to start off just introducing some of your friends and relatives that you have here.
Here with me today is my girlfriend, parents, brothers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and family and friends.
So who is here to see Peter get sworn in? All right. There you go. And you had a little mistaken identity earlier. Our village manager thought you changed clothes and grew a beard in the last 12 hours. But if you like to call up, is it your girlfriend you're going to have?
My girlfriend Tessa.
All right, Tessa, come on up.
Yeah, the ambo's here, you're good.
There you go. That is a lot harder than it looks like to do on someone else, especially when you got the peanut gallery back there chiming in. We welcome Peter. He actually starts the police academy on Wednesday. So we got a good firearms day tomorrow at the range. Luckily it was tomorrow and not today. Otherwise you would have got a little wet outside. But he'll do his firearms training tomorrow, and then we'll go right into the police academy where he will be until December. So it's 720 hours of law enforcement training. Once he completes that, it is not done. He comes back to us and then goes through several weeks of actual field training out on the road with a field training officer. And then about maybe March or so, he'll be out on his own patrolling the streets of Hartland, and we welcome him as a police officer here in the village of Hartland. Anything you want to say to the group, Peter?
Well, I just want to thank everyone for coming today. It's a lot of people here. I'm more than happy to be here to serve Hartland, and this is just the start of my career, so thank everyone for coming.
Kind of a coincidental night. We have Chief Jambretz retiring after decades of service, and now Peter, you're coming in. That's how the profession works. We welcome you, and then anyone that would like, we will have a brief reception at our library. Our community center is booked tonight, so we're just going to be right across the parking lot. In the back of the library, we'll have some light refreshments. And as you see, we have a big showing from our police department. I'm probably going to miss someone here. We got Officer Wendago, Officer Bell, Nelson, Gergel, Martin, Souther, or Lieutenant Souther, I should say, Deputy Chief DeBarge. We have one of our PFC commissioners, Trevor DeBoer, supporting us, and then Detective Shea over here. And that just shows you, as a small department, you got half of us sitting right here in the room because we really do support each other. People not even working today, coming in at their own time, supporting Peter from the start, making sure that you know that you're part of our family. And we welcome you, and we look forward to you getting through the police academy. So please don't have to stay here and listen to the rest of this. You
do not have to
over
stay.
to the library.
You do not have to stay for the remainder of the meeting. It's not considered rude. If anybody does want to get pictures in the room, feel free to do so now. If you do want it, that's totally understandable. So if people, okay, they can take a minute if they do want them right here as they swore in. However, if you want to do it when it's empty, that's fine too. That'll be able to be arranged. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I don't have your number. No,
I have some pictures of him on this side, because Shay was over there. Oh, sure. Yeah. I don't know who should I forward to.
Just you can send it. Yeah, sure. Just text
my
them your
husband has
email.
that one. 93. I'll just send it. Hopefully it'll. Usually I divide the pictures up into like 2 or 3, but.
Hi, Trevor. How are you? Yeah.
Trevor, you want to get in?
Yeah.
Any of the board members want to get in? All of them. Would you guys want to get in on this? Well, first we'll get Trevor and then we'll get.
I'm gonna look, take hers over there.
I would ruin the lens. I would,
Trustees.
I would ruin the lens.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
We're not done yet. We can Photoshop.
Mr. Vanderstel, President, Fred.
Oh, you have me in there?
No. Keep people to say hi.
You want his wife? You want the wife?
Yeah.
Drink all.
You gotta get the boss lady in there.
What he does, he'll take home. Don't have the fire.
Come away from the wall with it. There we go.
I would show up if I was him.
We're in recess for a few moments, and then we'll be back in. Hi, Trevor. How are you? Good to see you.
I missed it, but I'm driving on the fast off my fire.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know about Thursday, right?
We should put these at the end of the meeting, because look at,
We would have a full room. Everybody would know everything going on. It'd be great.
Chief, you don't have to stay, are you?
oh, you can leave.
Oh,
His cable's not here, so.
I could do it. The rates?
Yes,
Okay. Chief.
Chief, if you want Ryan to do it, he can
we
do
can
it.
do the rates.
It's up to you. You don't. Okay. Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Right. There'll be time for celebration after. I think we'll get back to order now. I think we have everybody back, right?
No,
Yep,
it's not.
Yep. All right.
I can't think.
So at this time,
I'll think of it.
we do have public comment, which is for anybody that wants, they can step towards the podium. I don't even know if we have anybody on Zoom, but anybody that wants can step towards the podium for. Okay. The floor is just say the name and address, and we can try to keep it to 3 minutes. You can turn them in. Sure, you can distribute them to the board before you speak if you'd like to.
Yep.
Oh,
I have 4 copies here.
oh, sure. Here, I'll just send 2 each way.
We can share, Sandy and I.
Well,
Do you
Tim,
not need one? Or you do?
we can share.
I'll share with you,
There's only 2.
because then you can keep it.
All right, go ahead.
This comes after a long time standing.
Just your name and address, just for the record, please.
My address is 1222 Lisbon Avenue.
Thank you. Go ahead. Yep.
So anyway, this has been coming for a long time standing, and I was encouraged to do this by several people on the police department and through the community. There's 2 properties right beside me. One of the addresses is 1210. They live right next door to us, and the other one. That wasn't on?
It is now.
Okay, and the other one is 1134, and they're both rental properties. So in the vicinity where we live, within a radius of a block, there's 5 rental properties total. To me, I think that's a lot for rental properties, and a lot of absentee landlords. Especially if the 2 of them that are right next door to it, like I said, at 1210. That's owned by Truttschel Hydraulics, which is, they keep telling me it's Neosho Hydraulics, which the company changes their names, I don't know how many times. I looked it up last week because Jeff said, well, no, that's not right. Whatever, they've got business problems. I know they've been before the board for various things and things like that. Well, I think they should start taking responsibility for their property. They've come and they've had, I don't know, maybe 25, 30 people come here from an island called Paliu. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Anybody on the board familiar with that at all? Okay, well, my dad was in World War II. So the people in World War II fought the Japanese people.
It's an island in the Pacific.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
That's exactly where it is.
Philippines,
And we
wherever.
took that island from them. Okay, well, that's where these people are from. They have no power over there. They have no electricity, no indoor plumbing, nothing. So Christy from Trompeler Hydraulics brought these people over here, like 25, 30 of them, and there's been nothing but problems with these people. They, I don't believe, can acclimate to our society just because of the way that they're brought up over there on the island. So anyway, there's been incidents in the past. One of them took a machete against people in Pewaukee. Now, this one that I'm talking about, individual that I gave you here, he goes by the name that I know him by is Leiden. That's not his real name. If you look on here, I can't pronounce it. I don't even gonna try. I mean, it's Renganol or something like that, the third page, if you can see it there. Okay, he's got a criminal history, okay? In the very last page, I think it's page 7 or something like that, and he told me himself what he did when he was at work at Trompeler Hydraulics. I'm trying to make this as short as I can, I know I've got a limited time. That,
You have a minute and a half left.
oh my God, okay. He sexually, oh, I just melt on the floor. He sexually assaulted a coworker twice. First, he tells me he's on a date with her. But incidents have been happening between them and the next place next door with the woman upstairs. She's been going back and forth and going out with them, and she's got a boyfriend. Well, they get me involved. I don't want any part of that. It's like, grow up. I'm going to be 63 years old. I don't need this crap. So Leiden wanted me to pay his bill that's on here. Last year I said, I'm not paying your bill. Are you kidding me? So then he got mad at me. Then he went and took one of my cameras in the back of our property and turned it. I got a picture of his hand. So after that, then he, I believe, tell me I can't prove it, but I've got 2 expensive cars that I drive. Both of the right rear tires were punctured 2 weeks apart. Call it coincidence? I don't. So after that, now it's been escalating with different things. I had to call the police out to my house various times. Now, like I said, it's escalating. He took a pellet gun and shot at my house 3 times last week. Now, this past week, he went and cut my security camera. So I don't feel safe out on my property. That's why I'm here. Something needs to be done with these absentee landlords and their tenants. I mean, this is, like I said, it's been a long time coming, especially with the one next door to us. So I don't know how you want to resolve this. Like I said, I make police reports. One of the officers tells me to stop. The other male officers tell me to continue filing reports. What am I supposed to do? Like I said, I don't feel safe. I've got an autistic daughter living with me again. You know, I walk by the property and he sits out there in the middle of the driveway, at the end of the driveway, laughing at me. I tell him, you better close your pie hole. Because he just laughs at me when she's with me.
Right.
This is,
I think that, and typically we wouldn't offer a lot of comment, but at this point, I think from the board, the board has no control over who people rent out to or any of that. I mean, we're
you
prohibited by.
have no rules, regulations, nothing?
None,
for
zero.
renters?
That's prohibited by state law. We cannot do that. We
Can't you make any?
It's prohibited by state law. State law always will supersede a municipal
Okay,
law.
what do you do with nuisance properties? That's what they are nuisance properties.
If it's a nuisance, that takes calling the police, and then
I did.
nuisances are filed, and when it
And
hits a
what are they
certain.
gonna do about it?
I would have to, I think the best thing you could do is sit and talk with PD. I don't have a better suggestion, because they know what laws we have in Hartland, that when calls come in, I mean, it is, a lot of it
I
is the
think their
police.
officers should be aware of this, because they keep telling me to make out police reports, which I have. Then one of them opened their mouth and told them what I did. Now they're after me.
If you make a
relentless.
police report, and I don't want to go too long here, because I think you should maybe even step out and talk with chief if he's okay with that, or set up a
Okay.
different time. But when you
Yep.
make a police report, this is why some people always say anonymous, and then they don't want to make
I
one. 'Cause-
did. No, I did.
No, but you can't. Because we can't go to someone and say, someone anonymous said this about you, because it just, that doesn't work.
No, it was
doesn't hold
anonymous.
up.
And you know it, because
I'm saying
you
it
know what I'm
doesn't
talking
work
about.
for the police on a police report. I think it would be good. We need to connect you with PD.
Okay.
So that you know anything, like anytime anything happens, you should call PD.
Okay, but do you don't have anything on the books for nuisance properties at all?
We do have some stuff on the books for nuisance properties, and Chief would be happy to, I mean, not right during this, because this is just for
I
public
get that,
comment.
not for this meeting. I get that.
But he would be
Yeah.
more than happy to tell you
No, I
the
want you to
things
fix
that
it
are
right now,
on
Joe.
there, so that you know.
I know, but
here's
you know,
the
it's
things
getting
that-
out of hand, and I'm afraid somebody's gonna get hurt. This is why I'm down here. You know,
Understood. And I will talk with Chief also on
Okay.
whether there is something that we can put on the books to say, after 8 calls in a year or 5
Well,
calls in a
this is
year,
what-
can
It's been
can
going
we
on
do
for 7,
something?
8,
But-
9 years.
Okay,
I mean,
and-
when does it stop?
Right, I'm just saying that, I'm saying what we can do right now. And
Okay.
I will talk to Chief as well to see if there's things we can
Well, like I
put on
said,
the
you know,
books.
I've sent you some things.
Yep.
And you know,
I've got
you've
'em.
heard it.
Yep,
Yep.
I've gotten them.
So, okay,
All right, thank you.
all right,
But I
thanks.
would suggest talking with Chief at some point.
Okay. Do you want me to call you, or
Sure, if you call, stop in, yeah, call is probably the easiest, call the police.
are you there all the time?
Pretty much, but
Oh, I didn't know that.
if I miss you, I can call you back.
Okay,
So
all right.
Give me a call at your convenience.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to speak in public comment? Anybody on Zoom? All right. Now we have approval of the minutes from July 13th, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of July 13th of 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have items related to vouchers. Hold on. Why don't you go to the podium? Because you're not on the agenda, so you're going to want to use it as public comments. Is the board okay with us backing up the public
Yes.
comments? They were. Do you want to go, you should go up with her, so if it's your
Never done
project.
this, okay? It's a learning experience, right?
It's awesome.
Okay,
Thanks.
number 4, choose an issue that's important to citizens in your community. And then do the following, find out which branch of your local government is
Can
responsible
you,
for
can
the.
you state your names?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Both names, because we need his as well.
Sandra Serwinka and Thomas Serwinka.
And the address?
Well, our address is in Pewaukee.
That's
but
fine,
we-
I just need to
Oh,
know
okay.
the.
Our scouts, it's in American Legion here in Heartland.
No, I need to know your address.
W282 N 4369 Somerset Lane, Pewaukee.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead. Thank you. We need that for the record, so.
Sure, no problem. Anyhow, you're supposed to have an issue, find out which local branch is supposed to be doing this, and then, with the parents' or the counselor's approval, which I'm both, interview a person of the branch regarding the issue. So, I didn't know if this was the forum we're supposed to be at or not, but,
I think you're early in the process. I think you should call
okay.
the
We had
village.
seen something in here about electric scooters from last month.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was gonna be brought up again this month?
Yes.
Well, it is on the agenda, but we wouldn't, these would kind of be two different topics. But yeah, you can stay and listen about electric scooters.
If he has to interview someone after, he could reach out to the president or police chief, anybody.
Yeah, that would.
Perfect.
Yep.
That's all we really need to do.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You could go to Lisbon Avenue and talk to, never mind.
Thank you very much. Now we have items related to the vouchers. We have a consideration of contractor's application for payment number 4 in the amount of $22,673.36 to close out the Progress Drive Sanitary Relay Project.
All right, yeah, this is to close out the project with Globe Contractors. All this work has been inspected and televised. We have all the records of that televising. It's been signed off on by Rooker to Milky, and staff has also done inspections too. Staff recommends making the payment of $22,673.36 to Globe Contractors, Inc.
I have a question.
Yep.
Of that scoping out, how many how many leaks did they find? I'm just curious.
None, because it's a brand new line.
Okay.
So this was the area that they, on Progress Drive, that they dug up last year, that tied in, because we upsized the pipe basically because of the quarry development.
Okay.
So that went from an 8 to a 12-inch pipe that goes all the way out to the shop, where it discharges out to Delahart. So this is a brand-new line that was put in.
Paid for in the TIF district and reimbursed by TIF increment.
I'll make a motion that we approve payment number 4 in the amount of $22,673.36 for the Progress Drive Sanitary Relay Project.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve payment number 4 in the amount of $22,673.36 to close out the Progress Drive Sanitary Relay Project. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have consideration of the vouchers for payments in the amount of $166,188.48.
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers in the amount of $166,188.48.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the payment of vouchers for $166,188.48. Any discussion?
I have a question. Ryan, under economic development, there's a charge for $308 for the flower garden. It says garland sample.
Yep.
What
so
sample is for
That's the bid for the garland going on the downtown lights. That's not our money,
Oh,
that's the bid's money.
Okay, I just wanted to know what it was, because
Yep.
it said it was a sample, and I thought that was a lot of money for a sample.
Yeah, I think that it's just how it was called on the invoice. That's for the garland that they're gonna be putting in the downtown. That's
Okay.
all bid funds.
Okay, that's all I had, thank you.
I have one as well. The voucher list, the first category that's not meant, listed, what category does that fall under? Because you have ambulance is the second one, but I don't know who the first one is. Is that just a general fund?
You're talking up like where my mouse is,
Right here. The first page of that.
right on here.
I don't, I think, yeah, where.
So those are all those are all fund balance or revenue accounts. So the way this voucher list prints is all these are expense accounts under it. So anything going to fund balance account, these are for like the hometown special deposit refunds, or they are negatives against grants, against revenues.
Okay, and then also a follow-up question. We have almost 15,000 in legal services with Von Briesen.
We do.
And they say, I mean, you have it broken down as to what it's going to, which is what I asked for a couple months ago, which is, thank you.
And I can email it every month. Otherwise, it's right here too.
No, it's fine. I just was curious. I mean, the almost $13,000 on the general administration, I'm assuming some of that stuff we get back from the developers and that type of thing.
I don't think all of that. I'd have to look at it. I mean, I have it right here if you want. So,
I just want to make sure
Yep.
that they're doing their job.
They are.
Okay.
I think he's referring that, I think there was a time when Tim was saying that with it, he wanted it to be included. He wants to see a breakdown, or even if it's to the board
We can, and
members.
again, we can email the board every month. I just did it and got nothing for a while, so we stopped.
I mean, maybe I'm just shaking up the wrong tree here, but it's curious, $12,000.
Well, the board members can request that for anything,
Yeah,
so I mean,
okay.
it's,
Not a big deal.
That can be done.
I'm sure everything is up and up, but I just was curious what we're spending it on. What
Sure.
type of,
So Mr. Jensen has a bunch of easements, lead pipe ordinances, hotel project, hotel meeting, lead pipe, hotel, staff meeting, hotel, police matters. I'm not gonna air those out. Collective bargaining agreements, Eagle Pass subdivision, the sale of our municipal lot, our municipal building, Palmer Drive, Delafield. I will have her forward these, but there are, these are all, and then some other items.
okay, all right, so, I mean, that makes more sense because now obviously we're not spending $12,000 on one particular item. It's all spread out for different things, which is understandable, so.
Yeah, every Von Briesen bill we get is an entire month of billing. Yes.
Thank you.
anybody else for anything on vouchers? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have review and consideration of items related to licenses and permits. We have two operator bartender licenses. This is for Jessica Cabaniss and William James. Not sure if you guys want to take these separately. Chief, if there's anything you have to add on these, could you do so before the board is going to take this up?
These aren't recommended for denial. These are just purely, there's things on their background, so that has to go in front of the board. There are little differences between the two. The first one being Jessica. She had listed on her application that she did not have any traffic offenses involving alcoholic beverages or controlled substances. However, upon doing that background check, we did locate OWI offense that happened in 2003, and that was a first offense, and then it was a second first offense, because if you didn't have one within 10 years, it goes back to that first offense. She had another first offense in 2016. We would typically approve those, and we did on background, but because that's in the background file, it wasn't disclosed. It does have to come here in front of the board. And then I can talk about the other one if you choose to take them together, which is William. There was no new violations since the last license was issued 2 years ago. And there was just things on his background that we can't just approve it because those things exist. A lot of them are from between 1982 and 1986, where there was some, looks like some domestic abuse type charges from that era. And then 2001, there was a disorderly conduct, the use of a dangerous weapon conviction, and OWI in the 1990s. All stuff that's old, that's been vetted and was approved on the last license. It just, because it exists, we can't automatically approve it without you having knowledge of that. So both of them would be approved under our typical protocol and background check, but because they have stuff in their background, it's just merely a notification to the board. Obviously, Jessica didn't fill out her application quite correctly, but however, it is stuff we would typically have approved.
Did have her come in and correct her application and include those items on it.
Well, with PD approval, I'll make a motion to approve the bartending licenses for Jessica Cabaniss and William T. James.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve both of those licenses. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Those will pass. Did I ask if anybody was against that? I think it's going to be empty because we all voted for it. Okay, good. Now we have other items for consideration. We have discussion and consideration of revising the village board's policy regarding operator bartender applicants that have a drug or alcohol offense on their background check.
This is this is something that's been brought up by several trustees, that do you guys do it by the arrest date or conviction date? And this is not that. How is it not?
This is the,
And 4 is.
I'm sorry, right. I'm getting it mixed up with the next item, sorry.
So again, you could have 2 people get an offense on the same day, one person in court 3 months later, one person's court 6 months later. That person, though the timeline, some of you had said that you wanted to do it based on the date of arrest. That's all we're looking for is guidance, because on that form, we put conviction date. So it's really up to you guys. This isn't an ordinance, this is just, do you guys want to do that, yes or no?
I think it should be on the conviction date, because otherwise we could deny it just on the date they were arrested, and yet they could be proven innocent.
But we have no control on the conviction date as compared to the arrest date. I mean, they could go to court 4 or 5 months later, which would allow them or not allow them to have a license 5 months down the road.
Like 17 months, essentially.
Yeah.
So
that's
if
what
you
I'm
and I
saying.
get the same ticket and my court's 2 months before yours, I can get a job
Right.
2 months quicker than he can.
Right.
Yeah.
Though we got the same offense.
So that's why I would be more in favor of the arrest date for that, in my opinion.
I would align with what you're saying, Tim. I think that when somebody gets a ticket for an OWI, hopefully they've learned by the embarrassment of what they've got to deal with and the expense of what that costs them is in addition to that. So I align with the way you feel about it.
I personally like going off of the arrest date. I find that most people, just in my opinion, even though lawyers don't suggest it, I feel like a lot of times most people, or especially first offense people, will end up going and, they'll end up just going in pleading guilty. Or, because, it's a pretty locked process now. You blow and then you're going to go, I think they still take you, and then now we're going to confirm by giving some blood or something like that. So it's pretty locked in, where a lot of people are walking in, so if you go off the arrest date, you're still doing fine. The problem for us is if someone's fighting it, gets a lawyer, and they're fighting it for 18 months long, or even 24 months, those things can go on where it just keeps getting
Right.
pushed. I understand those situations are tough. I don't know if we should put parameters on how many, like first and second OWI, we're just gonna go off of arrest date. I don't even know if we can. I mean, Chief, feel free to chime in.
But this is like serving to a minor underage. This isn't just OWI. This is any drug or alcohol related offense, not just OWI.
First offense only, or doesn't matter?
Just in general, I mean, we've had people that have had something 20 years ago, and then if they've had something within the past 14 months, but their conviction date was
Yeah.
8 months ago, everyone kind of says, well, I don't know what, we're just looking for, are we going from conviction date or keeping it? And a bunch of you told me you wanted to do it from arrest date, so.
Gordon, what do you have to say about this?
I don't have a preference per se, other than I think what Trustee Walschlager was saying. The reason it was probably done on conviction date is because you don't really have the offense till you're convicted of the offense. So I'm
Correct.
sure the lawyers in the house would tell you, stay with conviction date, because then you know it's a convicted offense. But there is that issue with when are you going to be convicted? And I think where we saw a bigger issue of that as of recent was COVID, where it really slowed down the court system and then prolonged some of those things. But because it's a policy doesn't mean you can't use discretion, which you just recently did with the underage selling violations. We can, obviously, if you take that into consideration, you can still allow them to have the license. So I think you could always review the facts and make that, but we do write on the application that it's the policy of the board not to, so that should be more
So-
often than not how it is carried out.
If somebody got an OWI in May and they come up for a license in June, we shouldn't even discuss it until they get convicted.
Well,
It
no,
shouldn't
you
even
can't.
be-
That's illegal, you can't.
It's not, they're innocent. We're just right now saying,
No, I'm saying we shouldn't even discuss it until they're convicted. That, you are right
They
on
do.
that. You can't.
they've had an arrest.
Doesn't matter, you can't.
So we don't put anything about any police, because we shouldn't if we're following that then, right?
I mean, you're reporting facts, but
It's still
they're
gonna show up
still
on a
not
background check.
convicted. So let's say they were to beat that charge for whatever reason, then you'd have nothing to consider because there was no conviction.
Right, but,
Even if an arrest occurred.
but if they had it in May, you come in June and they're still going through the process, they would be up, the board would know about that charge.
Correct.
And you guys would take that into consideration.
Absolutely.
I-
If it's a pending matter,
Yeah.
it could be taken into consideration.
So
Some
you
of the
could have
outcomes
18
there
month-
could be upon adjudication, we'll review your application. Or you could say, hey, due to this type of offense, I'm not overly concerned about it, and we approve it, whether you're convicted or not.
It's a broad overview on what we're allowed to do. I mean, I think of the case of the person that had a bunch of heroin in the car. And I'm just bringing that up when we did that, and we approved it because their charges were pending, and we were going to use that, we were gonna use that advice. I mean, I hear what both sides are saying. I'm just thinking of honestly, in all of this, I personally think that serving to a minor in their last year is probably much more indicative or more gives us a better picture on whether someone's going to be doing a great job for basically the whole bartender service course is all about not serving to someone that's doing that a lot more than if someone's on their free time. And I mean, it does happen. I know we don't like it, Chief, but where someone gets in a car on their own time and drives, some of those people sometimes can be making a bad decision, but they still do a really good job at work and they're IDing everybody, so.
And this kind of comes up, we did have somebody who didn't get their license, and in July they became 12-month eligible, but in like August, September is their conviction eligible.
Right.
So we know they were found guilty. They've already served their 12 months, but now they're getting an extra 2 because of the conviction.
Correct. That's where it really came up. I don't personally think that you can keep someone from having it while they were I think you can read it in, but I don't think you can really take it under consideration to keep them from getting their license. The only way I think it could work is if there's an ongoing pattern in the last 15 years and this is their 5th, we're gonna be like, hey, it looks like there's some issues going on there. But I understand that it breaks it down. Basically, you're usually going in about 4 months later where you're gonna be going into court. So it means technically they might only be without their license for 8 months. Yes, it makes it a little easier to have your license in Hartland in certain areas where we have parameters. But at the same time, I think once you see that pattern of just, hey, alcohol and you don't mix, we do tend to drop the hammer and say, it's probably just not a good idea.
And then the other point of tonight is.
I don't
so
know if
that-
you feel that way, Chief, but I do think we do a pretty good job of that.
The other point of tonight is so that you guys have all clear, all 6 of you, guidance on we're doing it from conviction date or we're doing it from arrest date. So I would just ask that you guys vote that.
I just want to be clear, if we say arrest date, and I know this is confusing, they've been convicted, because now we're denying based on that conviction, but we're going off of arrest date.
So like if you get the ticket July 4th and you get convicted in September, we're saying July 4th is your date.
Yes, but for that entire time between July 4th and September, if they did come and file for their license, we could read it in, but we could not prohibit them from getting their license. If that makes sense, but the next time that they came in for their license, then we would take that up. I'm just saying, I think Chief would even stand, that's the law. We would get sued for every bartender's license. You can't, it would get, I'm not saying we would get sued, but you can't say no if someone hasn't been proven guilty yet. You can't. I mean, in the United States, you are innocent until proven guilty. You cannot do that.
True in a court of law, but I think there's less of a
I agree with
burden
that.
for a village, for a municipality that for a license compared to a criminal or even a forfeiture offense. I do think if you talk to an attorney about it, they would say that you could hold it open.
Yep.
If you chose to do it. But I think what you were trying to say is it's from the time of the incident as long as you were convicted. So if you were convicted, we're using it from the time of the 12 months from the time of your incident.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Right.
Yep.
But you were looking for the if but then of conviction, then going back to time of incident, not time
Right.
of conviction.
Yeah.
That's not giving anybody a free pass. They're still getting 12 months from their date of incident if the case is closed. But the way we have it on the form now, it says it's from conviction. And we've altered that sometimes we haven't. I think if you guys just have 12 months from the arrest, if there is a conviction, it gives something solid footing for you guys to say every time, this is what we do.
That I agree with.
With everything that I've seen, in all honesty, and I'm surprised, but when we have people come forward that they're like, other communities gave it to me, I know that we check things a lot more than other communities. So I think that, I mean, I don't know how you want to word it. It almost sounds like we should almost scale it back where we know what's going on and we have our own internal policy on the board, kind of, but
That's what
we
this
almost
is.
should just say, you know, any alcohol-related offenses that you've been arrested or convicted for, you know, we need to know about them because they will be used in deciding your license. I don't even know if
That's the next item we're trying to say is that we don't need to get you guys, but you'll.
Well, no, I want it to go that way too. That's where I'm almost saying, like, any denial should just come to us and then, and I'm not trying to waste our time. I know this meeting's gonna be long now because I'm seeming pretty heavy on the being winded here as I'm talking a lot, but I do feel, and I'm just gonna say it, I do feel that a lot of times it's not because of someone that we deny or something like that, or gets a denial, and then they just kind of go and they're like, all right, I'm gonna wait my time and time out, kind of, and then they come back. A lot of times it is the bar owner, operator, or the bar owner or agent that's coming and saying, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be down a bartender. And I also do that, with me, that does fall on deaf ears, because that doesn't mean that you're down a bartender, you're not. That just means you're down a bartender and you have to have one of your operators or yourself need to be sitting there with them. And I think that's very important that we keep in mind. It's like, hey, you know, I feel we need to push a little bit on that also. Like, hey, I mean, if you don't want to go and get another bartender, if this person's really worth the wait to you, why should the village change your policy when you can just go and sit each time that they work for the next 6 months? Do you kind of, I mean, I'm just saying, I think those are very important things for us to take.
Right, or hire somebody who can get
Or,
licensed.
or say, okay, we don't have any hours for you because this is the way we operate. We're just gonna give the hour. I think you see what I'm saying. I think they gotta put some skin in the game too, as opposed to just coming to the board, because I think, Torin, I don't know if you agree, but over the last like 4 years, we've seen more and more where almost the agent owner will come forward and be like, I'm gonna be screwed here. And come on, you just gotta help me out. You know what I mean, so.
So again, I think we would just look for motion either way, what date of conviction or date of arrest.
Or you could just
One
remove the
here, we have to
language
say
and
so.
take it off totality of the circumstances and not just be mute on it.
Then they would just come to us on everything, and then,
Well, you can use the arrest date, but it can only be after you're convicted. If you're just arrested.
And really, even though it's your policy, it still has to come to you because you could still grant it. Like, that's just the policy. So it's not like a automatic denial, we won't let them apply. It just,
So the reason it is a policy, but with the conviction date, it came into question because many of you know the person I'm talking about who waited 15 months, and some of the other people who may have gotten arrested similarly got their license because it was already done in a year. So that person felt that was unfair, and I think talked to some of you, and that's, I mean, it is. Truly, if him and I get arrested the same day for the same offense, and my conviction takes 3 months longer, but he can get his.
If I fight mine for 18 months, my
Not even
conviction
fight
day
it.
is gonna.
Court
No.
is court.
Well, no, yeah, no,
you
you
have
can
delays.
delay it. You can
know.
delay it. So I mean, if it takes me 18 months to get through mine, then my conviction date's 18 months after, so you got 18 months plus 12. But there's also the flip on, I got to work for those 18 months because Hartland didn't deny my license. It's whatever we want to do. I personally think we should go back to leaving it up to the board. All of this policy and everything started when it came up because we thought that it was illegal to have felons any type of felon could not have the license, and the law did completely change on that, where now it's just kind of like it's up to that municipality. I think it's good for us to have a policy where we're consistent.
Fair enough.
When I say us, I'm saying the board.
You could do a policy, or you could, like he said, just take it off, and anybody who has a conviction, we'll bring it to you guys get to decide it. Item 5, which we're gonna go to, is if you guys approve it this year, next year we're not bringing it back to you if they have a clean record. You approved it.
Yeah, if they had no new crimes, I think that's how it should be.
Maybe that's what we do.
Yep.
I have no problem if we do that, whereas they have to come up here in front of us and we just decide instead of, putting it on Sandy.
Yeah,
Decide on the arrest date versus the conviction date.
Basically, the board is the filter,
Or
but
the
if there are
offense.
cases,
What?
Or the
it's like,
offense.
okay, send that to the
Yeah.
board, because
You're
if she
looking at
has, like in May, when we have 55 or 70 people on there, if all of them have a clean record because they still run them through background check, she can clear a bunch of those, and then there's not a list that they have to wait for also, so I think it'd streamline the process a little bit. I don't know what you guys think. But, so what are we going off of for now? Or I guess we don't even, we've given some direction. Is that enough to go off of for now?
What I would do is just take it off the sheet and say that your policy will be everybody's different. They're gonna come forward to you. And then the next item, when you get there, you're gonna go through the readings that, like, if I had a OWI and you guys are approving me after this 12 months, and the next year I have a clean record, I don't have to come up again and say,
Correct.
hey, and hey, and hey.
Yep.
If you have a clean record within that past year, you're good, and Sandy can approve it. That's kind of where we're going.
I was just making sure, because this says, discussion and consideration of revising the
Correct.
board's
I would ask that you
policy.
guys have that section removed from the policy, because on the sheet, it says like a year from the conviction date, correct? On the application?
It does. That is the policy of the, right there on the top. No, this one? No, it's noticed to all applicants. If you have had a
I wish we had
conviction of
included the
any
policy, but
alcohol
that's my fault. I should have looked it up.
related offenses within the past 12 months, the village board policy has been to deny the application for an operator's license until at least a 12-month period of time has elapsed since the conviction date of the offense. If you have drug or alcohol offenses in the past 5 years, you'll be required to appear. So we can remove that policy. Anything on their record, if it's a new applicant, anything on their record, drug or alcohol related, will come to the board for consideration, no matter the date, and the
So
board
long as they didn't get
decides
approved
it.
last time and they have a 2-year clean
Maybe you
record.
can rewrite that statement and say needs to come in front of the village board
Yeah,
for.
right, yeah.
We can even take that off since you're clearing them out, so the only things coming forward are things that we need to look at. I do kind of agree with, we could take it off, and then it's just, you guys are gonna do the scanning and.
Yeah, and then they're gonna come forward to you, and you guys get to determine if they're allowed or not the first time. And then if they have a clean year, they're gonna just keep going forward every year.
Well, no, that I think that should be, that's already, I'm just talking about what we're gonna do to, so that we're going off the same thing. So it's not like friends come in and they're going off of arrest date, but all of a sudden it's people we don't know and they're only going off a conviction date. That's all I wanna see us stay consistent, so. Which is right, that's why I think the arrest date is right. If we're gonna be doing it for people when the bar owners come in, then we should be doing it for everybody. It shouldn't be different for different people. So,
It'll be at
do you
our
need a vote
discretion.
on this?
Well, yeah, if that's your policy, yes. Because right now your policy is what you just read. And if that's not what you want,
Well, okay. It's
Like
written on the
case by
sheet
case.
saying it's the policy, but we don't have a policy in the packet that says we have we do have the policy?
No, there is no policy.
That's what I'm saying,
The-
so-
The language is just saying like, it should almost said the board's practice is to deny these.
I would say that too. The board's practice is that only the board, or even saying only the board when there's drug or related alcohol charges in the last 12 months can, something like that.
Or just take it
But
off.
However
if
you
it's
wanna
a
do it.
new
Apply.
applicant and they have drug or alcohol offenses,
That's
it
what I said
comes
in
to
the
you no
last
matter
12
how,
months. Oh, yeah, no matter what.
no matter what, if
Yep.
it's a new applicant.
Yep.
Yep. Well, I'll update the language on here.
Yes, because
How's that?
if they've been approved before and there's nothing new, they'll get their license. But we don't have to list that all on there.
Right.
What I would imagine the purpose of that is just to try to restrict people from applying when you're like, you just got arrested. Let's not waste the board's time on even reviewing this. I don't see that happening all the time. Obviously, it happens from time to time. But you could just take that language out and just go off the state statute, just remove it.
That's what I was
Don't
thinking.
put anything even.
Yep,
Just
that's what I was thinking.
file your application.
That's what I was thinking. Just take it
File
out.
what
and-
what your history is. We'll double
Yep.
check it.
And then you guys are acting as the filter and you're sending up the ones that you think are cautious, that we need to be cautious about.
So basically your discussion and your consideration on that could just be remove that policy language so that.
So let's take a vote if someone wants to. I'll make the motion that for right now, we're gonna take the wording off for right now. Sandy, if you would like to rewrite it and bring it at a future meeting, or leave it off if it seems to be working, whatever you wanna do, but I'll make a motion that at this time, we'll just have the form and we'll remove that policy wording that's part of that application, because we can still act the same without it, but I'll make the motion to remove the policy statement at that.
So clarifying, you're gonna remove the notice to all applicants statement, is that
Yes,
correct?
that's the statement I'm referring to,
Okay.
yes.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Tim, did you have any more on that?
Nope.
Okay. Any discussion?
And then Sandy's gonna rewrite it, and then it's gonna come back
She-
next meeting,
If
and
Sandy
then we can
decides,
approve
if she
that?
decides it's working,
Okay.
they can leave it off if they want to. Any board member could say, no, here, I want a statement on there later in time. But Sandy also could just bring it back to us anytime she wants, have it put on the agenda, and she could bring it back and say, I think this is what
Well,
the statement should.
I was gonna say, if she wants to rewrite it, and it's totally up to her, that she can put in there, if you are gonna rewrite it, about saying, if you haven't had anything for the last 12 months, then we'll
that's the
approve
next
it.
item.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, never mind.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have discussion and consideration of amending the section 6.37C of the municipal code to allow the clerk to issue operator bartender's licenses for renewal applications that have no offenses after the last license was approved by the village board.
Yes, so back in February 24, the board did allow for the creation of the ordinance that if there are no arrests or convictions for alcohol or drug-related offenses, the clerk could issue that bartender or operator license. With the last group of renewals this last spring, I was bringing back a lot on the agenda that they had offenses, but they were old since the
Right,
last,
like they've been approved
prior
3
to the last license being issued.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just bringing those back every time they renew. So I'm asking for your consideration, if you would like the clerk to be able to issue those as well, those would not be on the agenda going forward.
I would be in full agreement with that, because it's a change to the municipal code. It'll still have to come back to us. We can still suspend rules and approve it. The only change that I would like to see on what you have worded is that we do include that. We're still running background checks every time, because obviously you'll work with Torrin on it. But pending background checks. Even if you just add the
Right,
pending
something back.
background checks.
And that is in the code, and it's also in the statute under 125 that we'll do the checks and that what we can and can't look to not grant the license for
Yep.
or not. So it's got to be like a related offense, all those type of things.
And I'm not trying to get too wordy, I just want them to, you know what I mean? I want them to coincide. I don't want someone coming to her and say, well, you don't need to run it again because I had one last time, and all of a sudden they're getting
We
confused
put
when
some
they hear.
background check language in there.
Yeah,
And then
just
I'll
something.
I'll do a draft and put that on the next agenda.
That'd be
for you to
great.
review.
So this wasn't a reading, it was just bringing forward to see if you wanted to move that forward
Yep,
to
so
a
then she would bring it
Put it to the
forward.
next board meeting.
Yep, but it does say discussion and consideration, so let's take a vote on whether we think that Sandy should bring the language forward.
I'll make a motion that we should allow the clerk to issue operator bartending license for renewal applications that have no offenses after the first license was approved by the village board, and her adjustment of the language to be read at our next board meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. And I'm just gonna keyword, I'm gonna say it, that the section 6-37C of the municipal code that will allow the clerk to issue bartender operators licenses for renewal applications that have no offenses after the last license was approved by the village board. Does that coincide with the link?
Correct.
And that she would bring that forward next meeting for a first reading. Awesome. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have consideration of a third reading of a bill for an ordinance number 0622, 2026, an ordinance creating section 86-77 of the Village of Hartland Code of Ordinances regulating lead water service line replacement. Sir.
All right, this is, again, just an ordinance that's giving us teeth behind what the state is requiring us to do and the federal government is requiring us to do as far as lead service line replacements. So it's just allowing us to do that in our own village ordinances. This has been looked at by Hector and drafted by him and reviewed by staff as well, so.
It is a third reading. We would like, look for a motion to approve.
I'll make a here we go.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 6/22/2026, an ordinance creating section 86-77 of the Village Heartland Code of Ordinances regulating lead water service line replacement.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 622, 2026, an ordinance creating section 86-77 of the Village of Hartland Code of Ordinances regulating lead water service line replacement. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you. Now we have consideration also of a third reading of a bill for an ordinance 0622, 2026-A, ordinance relating to the regulation of electric bicycles and electric scooters.
Before you guys go into whether fourth reading or approval, Chief Misko, Clerk Palacello, and I met this morning. We're all good. We all think it's in a good place. But Chief Misko, if you want to talk about it at all, I know you and Attorney De La Mora worked on this, and
So that was the only part I was gonna add, and Attorney De La Mora did get back after reviewing this final, so that was always, we're not sure if that was gonna happen in time, and it did, so he had one just really minor, didn't change any intent, but what I planned on doing is I was just gonna kind of walk through it, like I did one of the prior readings, just kind of talking about what the intent of each section is. And then I had one question in there to make sure that the board was good with one of the restrictions for electric scooters. I'll highlight the very minor language change that Attorney De La Mora gave late last week. It was already after this version went out, so it will be a slight change. And then we'll just kind of walk through it. And then obviously any questions or anything the board would like to see added that they thought would be in there, we could definitely talk through those and then either figure that out and or bring it back to you for a fourth reading to get it right if those things were missing without the intent that you were looking for. So just kind of walking through On page 1, of course, the whereases are kind of your boilerplate, why we're doing this. Nothing that's going to be set in stone in the ordinance. So I'll start with section 8274, which is definitions on line 27. These are just some pretty generic definitions on what a bikeway is, what an electric bicycle is, to include the classifications and what an electric scooter is. For those classifications and what an electric scooter is, that is all done through Wisconsin state statute. We basically copy and pasted the state statute. The board may have received an email from a citizen asking about that, and with some of the new technology coming out, that maybe that could be already antiquated. Unfortunately, that's what the statute says. We can be more restrictive. We can't broaden the state statute. We can be more restrictive than it. So that really doesn't allow us to do those things. We have to follow what the state statute's saying in those particular areas. And if that does enhance, then some of the state statute and our state representatives will have to look at to try to redefine appropriately. That takes us all the way to section 2 on line 49 on page 2. And we start talking about some of the different sections, like the purpose under 8275, which is why we're doing this. Some of the applicability under section 8276, starting on line 56. Some things that we added into that area was we already have an ordinance that governs how bicycles should be operated in Hartland. Under 8268 for required equipment, we captured that specifically for subsection B, which means there shall be lights on that when it's operating in hours of darkness. And then also section 8269, which is our operating regulations for bicycles, which just talks about where they can be operated, how you ride on the roadway, just some general, no person operating a bicycle shall carry any package, bundle, or article which prevents the operator from keeping at least one hand upon the handlebars. No person riding a bicycle shall attach himself or his bicycle to any vehicle upon a roadway. All persons operating bicycles on streets of the village shall observe all traffic signals and stop at all stop signs, shall observe all traffic rules. So it goes through the same rules, sections, and it just kind of says if you're doing it on a bicycle, you should be doing the same thing on an e-bike. So we can say that if you're not doing those things, that could be a violation of this ordinance. So it kind of captures the essence of safe bicycle operation in general. And these are things that we've had on the books for decades for bicycles. Why should it be any different for e-bikes? One thing though on how we did it for bicycles, as far as just, I'll say like conduct while operating your bicycle, we define it while you're on a roadway, a bicycle way, a bicycle lane. We hit all these different definitions. One area that could be problematic for e-bikes, which I think we've seen from time to time, is like through public events or gatherings where now someone's whipping through a crowd at the Fine Arts Center at Nixon Park. So I added some language for that next subsection under 8277 operation regulations. And this was also vetted by Attorney De La Mora. It kind of starts in the paragraph that starts with line 72, where riders must comply with all traffic regulations applicable to bicycles, including yielding to pedestrians and obeying traffic signals as outlined. And this is that one little language difference that Attorney De La Mora gave. Instead of outlined in Wisconsin stat or WIS stat, it said CHAP, capitalized CHAP, period 346. He wanted it lowercase ch, period 346, parentheses, 2025-2026, end parentheses. So again, that does nothing really with the intent of the ordinance. It just was like a language cleanup of some legalese that he was putting into the ordinance to read appropriately. But then that next sentence is what I was alluding to. Every person operating or propelling an electric bicycle or electric scooter shall exercise due care under the existing circumstances so as not to unreasonably impede traffic or pose an unreasonable risk of harm to pedestrians or other traffic. And I think that's where you can capture the essence of we're at that crowded event and now someone's at 20 miles an hour whipping through a crowd of 100, 200, 300 people, we can all say that's easily not reasonable. And now we have some teeth within the ordinance to say, hey, off of it, walk it, or operate at a slower, more reasonable speed. You shouldn't be doing 25 miles an hour through this crowd. So that gives us the teeth within the ordinance to control that and have it as a violation and potentially a citable offense. Moving from that, we talk about the class-specific restrictions. Really, at the current time, we have our class 1 and 2 electric bicycles. Again, from the definitions, class 1, pedal assist, up to 20 miles per hour. Class 2, throttle propelled up to 20 miles per hour. And then class 3 is pedal assist again, but up to 28 miles per hour. We have this ordinance reading that they're allowed everywhere in the village like a bicycle is right now. The board's not given any direction to restrict in a specific spot. And I'll talk about how we can do that later in the ordinance.
Can I touch on something?
Yep,
Can I touch on two things, Chief?
absolutely.
One thing, and you may be getting to it, but one thing I do see, this would be on line 102 if you're looking at the ordinance. It's under,
Yep,
okay, you're there? It says short-term commercial rental of electronic scooters to the general public is prohibited. If a legitimate company came in and wanted to rent those out, if someone wanted to go around the village, they are not able to do that?
if you pass this as written, you are correct. That's your like Birds, your Limes, those big scooter companies.
Or even if it was a Hartland business, then, I'm
Correct.
just saying, you know, like we used to have a bike company here, if they rented out because it's still I guess I'm throwing in, I don't like that one, only because if someone does wanna, if someone's older and they're like, yeah, we wanna go on the trails, and they're not looking at going fast, they don't wanna have to pedal, it would prohibit, we would have to change the whole ordinance if they wanted to.
Correct.
I just was wondering if you had any reservations on that.
My only concerns are with the bigger companies coming in. You tend to have those things start to litter your community, and they're not always 100% properly maybe cared for.
No, they're
or
not.
Followed up.
It's horrible. They lay all over. I was thinking more small scale, so.
So that's where the restriction would come into place, and as a suburban community, I don't know if the companies would find the revenues to make it worth their while.
Okay.
But this would allow the board to first look at that before they can just come in.
Right.
But you are correct, it would have to change the ordinance.
I
to
also
have
don't know that
allowed.
you would know if somebody was renting one versus like a Lime or those, that's a
Yeah,
Lime.
Yeah,
and we're
at least you
talking
know
more
it's a
like the
rental.
credit card, you scan your card, it activates, and then someone's gotta find them and charge them and do all those
I think you
things.
could see a big company coming in and doing a lot of the scooters. That's what they actually do on a lot of the college campuses because they're cheaper.
And those, it makes sense, yeah, you're just trying to get from one
I
building
will
across
leave it as
campus
is,
to the other.
based
but-
on that explanation. I was just wondering on that. The
And
only the other thing that I had, you might be getting into it down the line, we did get an email, and I guess I did agree with it. We got an email from a gentleman that wrote it, and we used to have, and if I didn't properly read the whole thing, I apologize, but you've gone over the whole thing. Originally, we had nothing over 750 watts. I don't know if we changed that, but do we still have that at 750, or did we change that to one?
So, there was a question about limiting bike motors to 750 watts being outdated and dysfunctional. That's where I said that might start to become antiquated with new technologies. But that's the state law on how they define electric bicycles. So
Oh,
it's
okay, well
in
then,
state law.
yeah, we can't do anything
Where
about that
we
then.
can't be more broad. We can actually be more restrictive, but we can't be going outside.
Right,
of
and I
how
was
they're
only, the person
designated.
that wrote the email, I guess I do agree with him. He's like, if I have a 1,000, because I sometimes go up north and do it, but I want to be able to ride it here. I don't want to own two bikes.
Yeah, but
I
I
don't know
would
what
tell
I'll have
him,
to do.
even up north, it's against state law.
No, I know. I was just thinking that's true, but I get the point and the reason for it, because for one person being able to do it and ride it legitimately, there might be 18 people.
So
that are
after
not
750,
using
is it considered a moped then?
So,
something.
so basically, they look at anything over those electric bicycle restrictions as an e-moped or an e-motorcycle, depending on the operation of such.
Got it. Thanks.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I grew up with mini bikes, right? Is there any difference between a mini bike, because that's a CC, that's like a 50 CC or whatever it is. Is there any difference between that and I see a kid that is on a, looks like a mini bike to me, but it's all battery? I mean, so, but can a mini bike go on the path?
So if it's a e-motorcycle, like you're saying it's electric powered, but it's a motorcycle,
Yes, they can, but if it's a gas, no.
you have to be 16 years old to operate it. It's got to be fully ridden on street use only.
If it's gas.
E-motorcycle cannot go on our paths and sidewalks.
No, but he's saying if it's like a gas, I have a 50cc gas little bike that goes 8 miles per hour. That doesn't count. It has to be an electric. The gas one, you can't ride anywhere, or can you? It's not electric, it's gas.
It's still a motorcycle.
Gas, that's small, but I mean,
Right.
I'm sure, I'm sure these e-bikes are probably even faster than this.
Yeah,
little
I mean,
mini
it would
bike,
have
but
to be classified as an e-bike or an e-scooter
It's gotta be
if it's
battery.
motorized to be on our bike paths,
Okay,
our
so-
sidewalks, or
So
So
a
state law
gas-powered-
considers it a motorcycle.
Yeah, gas-powered
Because there's no pedals.
motor,
now, if you're riding a 50cc motorcycle on your private property, like
That's different.
Different, but I think there could even be other ordinances that could come into violation there, but
yeah.
particularly if it's not a road legal vehicle per se, plus your,
It's amazing what you see
The
when you're out
age.
walking around.
Sorry,
I mean,
Chief.
it's unbelievable.
oh yeah.
Chief Jambretz wants to get to his party.
So.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
On page 3, we were at that line 79 at the top. So again, as you'll see, class 1 and 2 permitted on all designated, and the only reason class 3 was kind of separated is just they had that other requirement that you have to be 16 years old, and that's state law as it's referenced there. But right now, we're not restricting them anywhere. They could be on a sidewalk, a bike lane, I say anywhere they want to go, they can go right now. Just like if they were on a pedal-powered bicycle, a regular bicycle. Then number 3 is your e-scooter. This is where I just want to make sure the board, we could either completely get rid of this. This was in the template ordinance that we started with, and we start manipulating to make sure it worked for us here in Hartland. But this is showing what they're defined as on the state statute under subsection A, line 85. And then there was they prohibit them on roadways if they had certain miles per hour on the roadway. We have it here listed as 35 miles per hour, which will allow you to be on the majority of our roads, 35, 25. There will be some exceptions to that. You'll have like KE, which you'll have sidewalks to like get to the school if you wanted to ride it on there per se through Hartland, and then you're not illegal, you just couldn't be on the road. If we pass this part, we can strike this and just say you could be on the road, we don't care. 83 would be another one that's 45 miles an hour, and then portions of Highway K would be another area that you could be in violation.
My first question right away all the time, we've got e-bikes, and the whole reason we're doing this, because we got e-bikes that go up to 35, 40 miles an hour. We have people riding bikes, I mean, I see them on the roads, I don't know, can they ride on Highway 83? Is it legal to ride a bike?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So why would we restrict the e-bike that goes just as fast without
Nope,
pedaling?
e-bikes would have 0 restrictions. This would be electric scooters only. And that was just something.
Oh,
that they
understood,
put
my
in
fault,
place
sorry about that.
Because you typically find younger operators of electric
Yep.
scooters, and it's just a safety protocol. But if the board says, hey, we don't care, we could take that part out and just say they're defined as Wisconsin state statute, or just remove that whole subsection. Again, that was in our template ordinance, so I left it in because I didn't get any direction to take it out, but that is we should make some type of actual, are we good with that, or do we want it completely out? Or do we want to raise it to 45 and then basically every street is legal?
I think that it's good to have it in, sorry, with it saying the scooters, and I'll tell you why. Because e-bikes have much bigger tires than those scooters do. So a large rock is going to cause a lot more problems on that scooter, and you're also not in the fall position. I think we all know this from motorcycles, you're in the fall position where you literally can go with the fall and push it away. You're not in a scooter, you're in the air, and who knows which direction, how you're falling, so. I
So
think
yeah,
that's a
this
good
would
one.
just be scooters on these roadways. Again, e-bikes, just like bicycles, can operate on every road,
Got it,
everywhere.
understood.
e-scooters, again, I think the intent under the template ordinance we received was because it's typically younger riders, and now you're putting them in heavy or high-speed traffic roadways. Do we want them on the sidewalk or not even on that road? And just think of, do you want a 12-year-old driving down 83 on an e-scooter? So we could leave that then at 35, and again, there will only be a few roads here in Hartland that will apply to. And then just some pretty standard language. It's been, just can be operated on all sidewalks, bicycle ways, shall be parked in upright position, some parking things, and then to what President Fanner still touched on, that short-term commercial rental restriction is on there as well. So if any of those things we want to look at changing or doing differently, but it's some pretty generic language. Line 104 goes into your age requirements. Again, state statute for class 3 is 16 years of age. So if you're under 16, you cannot operate a class 3. And then it also designates passenger use, that you can only have a passenger when there's a designated area for a passenger. You can't just jump on the handlebars and off you go on those. And again, that's due to some of the higher speeds that particular vehicle can go. Then again, just defining the motor power and speed limits, what they all have and how they are already defined. And then some prohibited areas right now. So that kind of goes over to page 4, line 120. Basically what that's doing is if we identify an area that the board says this is becoming problematic, we don't have to do a 3-reading ordinance and figure it out. You can do it by resolution to say, hey, the chief's come to us, or I've personally seen, or this is going to be a problem, or we've had an accident. By resolution, we can now erect signs and say, you can't operate in front of the Fine Arts Center during a concert, or you can't operate on the sidewalk downtown because the businesses are just too close to the roadway and we don't feel that that's safe. We can do that at any time if that information becomes available or we see it become a problem, just through a more simple process of a resolution. I will point out on that particular one, that is also a point that was brought up in that email from the citizen to the board, that he asked about the resolution piece that said, it looks like appears the ordinance empowers the board to impose restrictions on the use in prohibited areas using a simple resolution. As I understand it, this means any such change can be proposed and approved at a single meeting. They felt that this was not sufficient to allow for and consider input from the community on any such prohibitions. So they were against that. Again, though, that's still an official action by the board. It does streamline it to the effect of not having to do 3 readings or take a month and a half to put a prohibition or restriction in place when we can clearly identify one. As the board starting today with this ordinance, there are 0 restrictions right now. There's no signs going up saying no electric scooter/bicycle allowed. That would only happen down the road if we identify an area. And then the last part would be section 8278, our violations and our penalties. Basically, we have an appendix B that has all our citation deposits listed within. We would just look for finalize that fine amount for what that would be an appropriate amount if someone were to be in violation of any of the restrictions that we just talked about throughout this ordinance, and we say you're in violation of this ordinance, here's the ticket we could write. The bicycle ordinance has a $25 deposit, which works out with court costs, which just recently increased earlier this year. The fine amount for any bicycle violation would be $102.50. My recommendation is we do the same for electric bicycles under these ordinances.
We should do that. I think we should make that part of the motion today.
I agree.
Otherwise we have an ordinance on the books, and when they stop someone, they're like, hey, you can't do that, and here's your citation, the amount, it says $0, because we don't have one.
Well, didn't we talk about that? So the issue is if you approve that within the ordinance and not the fee schedule, that means every time you update that fee schedule, you got to update this ordinance. Correct?
Talking
So
about
we're just
adding the
talking about
fine
fee
to the
schedule. You just put C appendix B.
appendix B.
Yep.
We'll put that amount in.
Yep.
But agree and approve the amount as part of this.
And even if it was,
this
it's easy for
process.
you guys to update every ordinance all the time, isn't it?
Just takes 3 And that's what we said. So
I was
remember,
kidding.
we
I
did
was
this with food trucks. There's no perfect ordinance. There's things that we're probably gonna update with this. This is getting it on the books. Everyone in Wisconsin's having one. There are accidents every day with these. We just now have something on the books. We're not restricting it at all, but police now have teeth if there's an issue to approach things.
And we did have some teeth with state statute on some low-hanging fruit of this already. However, I personally have talked to several operators of electric bicycles that have brought up, like even the recent news article, Village of Hartland Board considering e-bike, e-scooter ordinance, and they'll be like, there's no law currently. I think this serves as a good education piece for our community, that there is a law, there is some restrictions, and there is penalties if you aren't following those correctly, because they obviously were confused. And when I tried saying there's state law that already, like these particular kids weren't operating with lights on during hometown, driving down the street, heavy traffic, just a recipe for an accident to happen when you can't see them. And they were trying to tell me, well, no law exists here, so we could do whatever we want. And you're like, well, state law says you need a light on that thing. So I think it will serve a good educational piece in addition to everything we're doing here today.
So Chief, did you say that you would like, if we, in our motion, that we reference a dollar value for a fine of $102.50?
Correct.
On Appendix B,
Yep, to be,
2 separate things.
again, if there's no other questions or changes that we would want to make here, if everything I read through made sense and you're good with, then I would say the motion to approve the ordinance as described to include fine amount to be placed in Appendix B of 102.50, I think would be suffice. And the change of the language change on line 73.
What is that exact section, just so we know?
So line 73,
I
page
got it,
2.
I'm looking, I got it.
Section 8277, but it's the second paragraph of subsection A.
Okay, so that's what it is, 8277 subsection A.
Yep.
277.
And line 73 to be specific on the ordinance.
It's line 73 on the ordinances.
They're talking, getting back to the prohibited areas, obviously, if we were to post something after a one meeting approval of a resolution, I think it's probably a safety issue would probably be the reason why we're doing it, and so that would be our justification, right? So I don't see
Correct.
an issue with that at all.
And there still
For
would be a
posting- you mean for
process.
posting the amount?
No, I'm talking about prohibited areas where the gentleman with the email said that he didn't think that was right with us just doing it with one resolution, making a change.
Oh,
And so I said there'd be a just reasoning for us because
Right.
somebody got hurt or whatever, or, you know.
and we've been working on this for a long time.
And that's the tough balancing act, is we want to move with some efficiency if we identify a problematic area, but also balance citizen input with it. I think the resolution provides that balance.
If I'm not mistaken, even though I'm not making the motion, I'm just saying the motion would read to adopt the motion, state the number, and then, which includes the change being made to section 82, subsection 77, subsection A, line 73 on the ordinance in the packet, and that we would make that change, so we'd be adopting, and we would be making that change to Appendix B, which lists the fine amount of $102.50, which corresponds to this ordinance. Does that sound legitimate? I'll turn that into a motion. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance, I'm just looking for the 0622 2026-A with the change, I'm sorry. Any discussion? I didn't finish. I heard you say discussion. I'm like, did I miss something? And then it makes my head go, ksh. I'm still reading the motion that I made is all I'm doing. The motion was to adopt 0622 2026-A, an ordinance related to regulation of electric bicycles and electric scooters with the change to section 82-77-A of the ordinance, which is line 73 as it shows in the packet. Also, that the corresponding fine relating to this ordinance on Appendix B, which is creating or going with that fine that'll be on Appendix B, will be $102.50. Any discussion?
And I'll second that motion.
Oh, thank you. Any discussion? Oh, yeah, that's right. See, I see you getting all backed out. Any discussion? It's been moved and seconded. All right. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. If it's okay with the board, if you have any reservations, please let me know. I'm going to include Tim and Chief Misko. There are other municipal leaders that wanted to know what we had. We can still have a meeting with them, but I do want to send them what we have once it's written the way it's got to be based on the motion. I'll give them a quick email out to the Freeman just so that they'll pick it up anyways, but to let them know we did this. I know there's eyes on it, so to let them know they did this, as long as no one has any reservations to that.
No, but I would just like to thank Torrin and Hector and everyone here for working on that. It only took a year and a half.
Well, since we started really working on it, honestly,
Yeah.
in 4 months, I think
Yeah.
we got it nailed out pretty
Yeah, no,
quick. and
it's fine. I'm
it
glad we
did-
got
once
something
we
on
were,
the books.
you're right though, Tim, because once we were doing it, it's surprising how many other municipalities started jumping and calling and saying, hey, we want to know what you have. I know Cotttonwood already said, hey, when you create it, can you send it to us too? And I'm like, I can let you know what we came up with for us, so.
I will follow up. I was out of the office when a citizen did email the board and myself on those questions, and I have been in meetings all day today, so I did not get back to him before this meeting, but I will follow up with him tomorrow when I get a chance to let him know what's going on.
You let them know those of us on the board saw it as well.
Yep.
I didn't send him an email, but I did read it and took it into consideration.
Thank you, Chief, for all the hours you put in
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
this. Thank you for being here tonight.
Tim, you too, thank you. I know you were reading stuff from other municipalities that got it started, like, hey, let's
Yeah.
do something, so.
Torrin did a little research for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's all Torrin.
So I don't know, did I call the vote already? I did, right? We adopted it and then we had more discussion?
Yep, I was just saying thank
Okay.
you.
No, I know, I'm the one that, started that.
Item
so.
8.
Yep, so now we have discussion and consideration of the award of the 2026 crack sealing program contract to Thunder Road LLC for the sum of $47,557.
All right, this is our annual crack sealing project. And once again, this is gonna go in conjunction with our GSB 88 that was approved, last board meeting. Park Court and Overlook is gonna be the areas we're touching on, a couple other areas with our crack sealing program, based off of our Paiser rating and what we've seen out in the field. We've used Thunder Road in the past, and staff recommends, sign the contract with Thunder Road for the sum of $47,557.
557 or 577?
Oh boy, this thing, 577.
Just want to make sure.
Yep.
And again, this was a public bid, we got one.
Correct, yeah, this was a public bid, we have gotten one, I've talked with R&M, and they've suggested too that we might be starting to do 2-year contracts. Kind of stretching it out a little bit, just because it's obviously not seeking a lot of people for these smaller contracts like that, similar to our utility contract this year. So we are thinking of different ways to get more bidders to show up to the table for some of these contracts that we do.
So would that be locking in the dollar value over a 2-year period?
So it would just be,
Or committing to that company?
Yeah, no, for example, it would be not doing any crack sealing next year, GSB 88, lumping 2 years projects into 1 year. So right now we're trying to stretch it out so we're not spending a lot, but because of that, we're not getting any bidders on that. So it would basically be taking 2 years, putting that into one, just to get kind of more of a, bidders market and everyone kind of coming at the projects,
Yeah, 47,000, just 47,577 isn't worth everyone's time.
Correct, yep.
So how is it determined that Overlook Trail was selected this year? Because of the ratings?
Because of the rating and GSB 88, you want to get down before the road gets too detrimental. At a certain point, it's not it's not worth it to put it down, put the chemical down, and do
Yeah.
the sealing. So it's basically based off of the Paisley rating we do and the year that we paved it.
Crack sealing's always like 5 to 7-year-old roads, parking lots, things of that nature. Once you get to a certain point, you're just,
It's only about 5-year-old road
Yeah.
now.
Correct, yep,
Okay.
yep. So this is a preventative measure that you do to extend that time frame.
Trust me, I hear about it all the time.
Yep. Some
Oh,
family,
yeah.
some family live in that area.
I will make a motion to award the 2026 crack sealing program contract to Thunder Road LLC for the sum of $47,577.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the crack sealing program to Thunder Road for $47,577 and 0 cents. Any discussion? I do have a question, and this will go for the next one too, depending on if you guys did get bidders or not. I didn't look forward enough to see what the other bidders were. Do you know why we're not getting many bidders on that? Is it just not a big deal for people and they're all just so busy?
Price point, there's just very, very strong shortage of laborers.
Okay.
A lot of companies can't get anyone to do anything these days, honestly, is the sad part. So showing up to the table for $50,000, unfortunately, is not much anymore.
No, I get it.
to be honest, with the next one, this company has always done ours, and nobody can compete with them. Nobody knows everything, so nobody does bid on our sewer clean, or televising.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's
That
always.
is why that one is just
Yeah,
like that.
okay. I was just wondering if there was some, but that answers it, so. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have discussion and consider, I don't even know what consideration would have turned into. Discussion and consideration to, I'm going as fast as I can, and we don't need all the extra comments. Gee, well, I can hear you. You need a little decorum.
Oh,
Discussion and consideration to award the sewer joint grouting contract to Vision Sewer not to exceed $50,000, and I'm totally kidding.
All right, so if you guys can remember, the last 2 years, we've been doing televising through the marsh, which costs a little bit more to do. That's why we split it up, but basically doing that of the interceptor. The interceptor is the main pipeline, main artery that runs through the village of Hartland. If you kind of think about the topography, if you go to the west or the east, everything kind of comes down towards the river, naturally why the river is where it is. So that interceptor runs kind of along that area and conveys everything out to Delahart. So in that televising 2 years ago, we found some areas that needed attention. We have some joints and stuff that are leaking and causing some infiltration issues. And this was the kind of the account that was made up for this project specifically to have this work done. So I reached out to Visit Sewer, who had all of the televising and all the recommendations for this work to be done because they were the lowest bidder in that televising contract. They know all of it, so they're kind of not proprietary towards it, but they're the ones that did it. So if I was having another company do this, they would have to go through and do the televising, and all the work we've done in the last 2 years would be washed away. So long story short, staff would recommend Visit Sewer doing this work. Right now, it's not to exceed the $50,000. That's what we have budgeted. And that's, once again, it's just based on kind of the time and the labor, as you see in the contract here. Because of these areas, they're very hard to get to and very hard to reach. So they can't really put a standardized price for a specific linear footage or anything like that. So if anyone would like to know how it's done, it's basically like a giant dog bone that is thrown into the sanitary main. It gets to a certain point, they pressurize both sides of it, so then it's sealed off on both sides of it. They hit it with air pressure and grout. It cleans and it grouts that entire area, and then that plug is pulled through and cleaned out. So that area is completely pressurized, and grout is shot out in all directions to seal that off. So it's kind of unique how that process is done, and there's not a lot of companies out there that can do that. So,
Just so you're aware, Tom's been very proactive on getting everything televised. That, I mean, there's miles, 40, 50 miles of line, trying to get everything. He just showed me one the other day where a Spectrum, he's like, look at that pipe, right through the middle of our pipe. Well, we don't know who it was.
yeah.
Do we?
We don't know who it is yet.
You know how people bore underground for like fiber, things like that? He's showing me a sewer pipe with another telecommunications company right
Basically,
to
Find
you.
out who it is so we
We
sue
did.
them? Oh, good.
Yeah, but without televising, you don't see these things.
And sue them.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I mean, basically, these areas that we've been paving has kind of given me some opportunity to be flexible and stuff like that. You know, we've always done the process of televising everything out prior to our utility project, which makes sense on the roadway that we did. Our last utility was in Four Winds, where we have PVC, which is a phenomenal underground pipe structure, so I'm not gonna spend the time wasting televising on that, especially when I think the last televising was done in 2019 on that. So the time frame that I had and where we were paving and areas that don't have main underneath it or sanitary structures, I could stick that into the interceptor and stuff like that that has never been hit, so.
Awesome.
I'll make a motion that we approve the sewer joint grouting contract to Visit Sewer not to exceed $50,000.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to award the sewer joint grouting contract to Vision Sewer not to exceed $50,000. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now, and rightly so, with this being his last meeting, before we get to announcements and then some closed session stuff, but we have discussion and consideration to adjust non-residents ambulance charges. I'll let Chief Jambretz take this item away for us.
So back in May, we brought the updated ambulance charges to you, and for some reason, the MSMC did not put the non-resident fees in there also. So currently, and we've kind of fought with them on it and tried to get them to give us some foresight onto it, and they finally have gotten back to us. So the current non-resident rates are, the ALS 1 is $1,700 and ALS 2 is $2,000. We approved the resident rates at $1,873.41 for ALS 1 and $2,711.52 for ALS 2. So currently, non-residents are paying less if we take them in. So our suggested rates would be ALS 1 for a non-resident, $1,973.41, and ALS 2 would be $2,811.52. So those would be the increases to bring them up higher than our resident rates, so.
just remember if it's Medicare, that none of them touch it, and this is just, so insurance played the game, we used to charge mileage supplies, now it's just all one lump
Medicare
rate.
pays some, don't they pay like 400 or they pay
475,
something?
425.
Okay.
Chief, is there a reason that it can't just be like 2,815 instead of 811.52?
So the state is kind of getting involved now,
Oh, Lord.
with all the Medicare reimbursements that
Okay.
we've been getting, and they go, every year we have to go through all of our stuff and
So is it a
send in.
percentage?
Yeah, so
Okay.
these are suggested rates that have come from the state, and our ambulance, they haven't been okayed yet, but our ambulance billing company says it's probably gonna happen, so just to get ahead of the game, so.
Just wondering, Chief, on the ALS 1 and ALS 2, I probably should know, are these both our different ambulances, or does this depend on who's on board?
No, it's the treatment given. So ALS 1, general like asthma attacks or diabetics or something, we give those medications. ALS 2 would be the pulseless non-breathers where we're doing CPR and giving all the top-line narcotics, or if we're given, major injuries where we're given fentanyl and stuff like that. So those are all ALS, higher drug rates and higher ranges of what our
Understood.
personnel are
Okay,
getting.
so more severe calls.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. Got it.
I'll make a motion to approve the adjustment of non-resident ambulance fees. Do you want me to list the new fees?
I would.
Okay.
I would just say what he has on that form.
From ALS 1 up to, or 2 now, $1,973.41, and then ALS 2, $2,811.52.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the adjustment on non-resident ambulance charges to ALS 1 to $1,973.41, and ALS 2 to $2,811.52. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have announcements. Chief, why don't you lead us off?
I'll start. Obviously, I've been gone for 2 weeks, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on down at the fire station. We've been working on trying to get, obviously, putting our budget stuff together. We're working on getting prices to get that ambulance repaired. We've got initial pricing. We're waiting on manufacturer pricing for some of the things that were damaged. So waiting on that. Engines and ladders are all up and running at this time. Knock on wood, with no issues. Again, I want to thank everybody for all the support for my past, from the DPW all the way through the fire department. Could not have done it without that. Thank everybody for that. Keep Nina, Menasha, and Appleton in your prayers tonight. One of my best friends is the chief up at Nina, Menasha. They lost one of their fire stations today in a tornado, and just tons of damage and tons of repair going to have to go on up there. So other than that, Thursday, 11:30 to 1, my last day. Come and visit.
Thanks, Chief.
Previously,
Call back and that's my meeting.
Oh, Rick's just coming on.
Huh? Previously alluded to being tied up in some meetings today. Majority of those where we did myself, Village Manager Bailey, President Fannerstill, Trustee Walschlager. I saw Trustee Truttschel jump in. Sandy, of course, was there. But we did our architect interviews today, so we went through 3 of those today. Those are time consuming, but definitely worth the time. I think we have a lot of good candidates to pick from, so we'll work through that process with our consultant. Judge Sonderhaus is going to be appointed the new interim judge at Lake Country Municipal Court at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and there'll be a special election forthcoming to fill that role permanently. I'm probably stealing a little bit of Sam's thunder on this because she's done a lot of great work with it, but we do have National Night Out coming up August 6th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Nixon Park. Of course, you saw Peter Otte get sworn in today, and he'll be again going to the Recruit Academy starting Wednesday, and we will see him back at the PD beginning of December. So that's 720-hour police academy. He'll be attending at WCTC. And then in closing from the police department, just want to say congratulations to Chief Jambretz. On behalf of the police department, we're going to miss you and wish you nothing but the best on a well-deserved retirement.
Thank you.
All right, last week surface was applied out at Four Winds, so everyone's driving around on that now. We will be looking at the final punch list this week to get to Stark paving, to do the rest of the landscape and little things and touch that up and hopefully get that project done. Utility installation for Eagle Pass is still moving right along. Globe is out there along with Rams, moving in full force. DPW staff attended rec summer camp this last week at Hartland South for a touch a truck. So I heard that went well. Kids Day is this week Wednesday at Nixon Park from 9 a.m. to 1 o'clock. And then I don't know if you guys have seen the post that I put out last week, but we are going to be replacing 2 butterfly valves on North Avenue. This is on a 12-inch main that goes to the north developments in the village, and we're going to be closing the road down this Wednesday from North Ave and Hartbrook to Greenbrier. So that section of roadway is going to be closed down from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. expectedly if everything goes well. Hopefully it's a lot earlier than that, but I'm trying to give myself a lot of free time because doing 2 valves at once in the center of the road is a lot. So we're trying to get that done so the county can pave that section of road. And then to go off what Torrance said, Jambretz, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure working with you in the short time that I have, but it's been good. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Chief
Thanks,
already
Tom.
mentioned National Night Out. Other than that, we're in our final week of summer camp, which is super exciting. And T-ball ends next Friday with our little awards banquet at Nixon Park. And then, yes, to echo these guys, congratulations, Chief Jambretz.
Thank you.
Another congratulations, Chief.
Congrats. Thank you for your service. And happy retirement.
Yeah, same man, enjoy. You deserve it.
Voting starts tomorrow for the August 11th election. So that's in-person absentee. So in-person absentee, that means that we're open, I think we still open on time at 7:30. And you guys keep that open from 7:30 or from 8?
7:30 to 4:30.
So 7:30 to 4:30. There's early voting, so that would be Tuesday through Friday this week. Next week, it's all week long.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, and Friday, we still stay open till 5 next week. Okay. If you want to come in early absentee, but they'd love to see if you come on election day, so. I do want to echo what Chief said. I have 3 of them nieces and nephews that live up in, one of them actually lives right in Neenah. One of them works in Neenah. They all live in the area, but I had a sister that lived up there for a long time. I know quite a few people in the area, but please do keep Neenah, Menasha, Appleton, that whole area, and actually it did continue going throughout northeast Wisconsin, so please keep them in your prayers, but especially where that tornado, I mean, it looked insane. But I do want to say something, and I'm just going to be kind of stern with this just so that it's clear. I've gotten a call over the last year and a half, sometimes multiple calls, but from 3 different municipalities about that we need to, we being Hartland, need to take a meeting with Lake Country Fire and think about merging. I've said the whole time we're not planning on merging. I also recently received and was in sometime, when I say in talks, I just mean we were having a conversation. So I am going to be taking up a meeting that I'm allowing a meeting. It's been asked that I would have a meeting. I just want to make it very clear with Lake Country Fire Rescue, I have no intentions of merging. I just want it to be clear right here in the announcements so someone does not all of a sudden say, there is some talk already, it's my understanding. There's people that, they start trying to pipe stuff in, but they're like, oh yeah, see, they're merging because now they took that meet. I'm not looking to merge. The meeting was requested. I've expressed this, but I'll still, for a neighboring fire department, yes, I will still give the meeting and say, I'll sit down and talk with you and however, but I'm just letting everyone know I'm doing it out of respect and I'll sit down with an open mind. I'm not looking to merge at this time. If that was ever a thought of mine, I would come right to the people of the village and say, hey, and especially the village board, and I would say something about that. Because I'm meeting with Lake Country, I'm also gonna extend it to Western Lakes and say, if I'm meeting with them, I can offer the opportunity with you. If you wanna get together and talk a little bit about things, we can talk about those things. I just wanted to make it very clear, not taking anything away from them or anything. I'm just saying at this time, I'm looking to continue on what we started and what we planned in Hartland, which is our marching on towards a full-time fire department. I just want to make it very clear. And I did also want to say to DPW that the flowers in the village, those flower baskets, I know you guys go and water those all the time. I know someone else picks them out, but I do want to let you know, if no one watered those all summer long, those things just look like a dead mess. And they do look outstanding. I see the person once in a while when you drive through, you see him out there with his rod and he's having to fill those things up. But I mean, they really do look good, and that's not, and especially the heat we've had and stuff like that. It's not easy to make sure pots that are hanging out in the open. But so really, I do believe that you deserve some kudos on that. I did want my last, everybody's congratulated Chief, and Chief, congratulations. Chief's last call will be at 1 p.m. There will be an event, which is a celebration of Chief's retirement for his service. That is this Thursday at the firehouse from 11 to 1, with the final call being at 1 o'clock. So with that, thank you, Chief Jambretz, for everything you've done. And now we have an item about going into closed we have an item going into closed session. So I'll just make a motion that we may convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85, section 1, subsection G, for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved with respect to the two parcels located at 550 Hartbrook Drive in conjunction with the current negotiations regarding the procurement terms pursuant to an eminent domain proceeding previously authorized by the Village Board of Trustees.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into closed session. This will take a roll call vote. If our clerk could call the roll, a yes would be to go into closed session, a no would be to not go into closed session.
Trustee DeBoer?
Yes.
Trutschel?
Yes.
Walschlager?
Yes.
Connor?
Yes.
Hallquist?
Yes.
President Fannerstill?
Yes. That motion passes. At this time, we'll take a little recess and then we'll be in closed session. Kevin, blast off. Okay, we're live.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. There is no items to take up or any votes to take after we were in closed session. All in favor?
Aye.
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 This meeting's adjourned.